We are here again. We are back in the Intercom kitchen. I'm Harold Daniel from KMOX Radio News, and I would like to welcome you again to Cooking for Two. Now, this is called Cooking for Two. This is a recipe tonight that you can easily expand to 2468. Who do we appreciate? AARP. You like how I did that? Yes. That's because I'm a little exhausted from trying to get ready for tonight. We're going to make a simple dish, but it was anything but simple. The behind the scenes hilarity, I'm going to give you a couple of stories. We are making my lemon dill salmon. It is so easy, but it is yummy. I've already got some cooking in the oven, and I've had people pass by the kitchen who want to know what is going on. They think I'm feeding them tonight. So all you have to do is go buy the salmon you choose. There are a lot of different salmons out there. Don't be afraid of the farm raised. Don't be afraid of that. Now, the salmon that I bought has the skin on it. I like this crispy skin. My husband does not. So you know what? You take a knife and you cut that skin off. 2 fillets, 1 for him, 1 for me. Actually, I cut them in half, and because I never eat a whole one. So very simple: salt, pepper, lemons, butter, oil, and dill. Okay, not necessarily in that order. So the first story of the night is this recipe also calls for a little wine or chicken stock or even water in your pan to make your salmon. I decided to add wine. I just chose an inexpensive Chardonnay. Every time my husband and I buy a bottle of wine and it's not good, we cook with it. This one's pretty tasty. So I bring this bottle of wine here to KMOX in downtown St. Louis, Missouri. And what did I forget? A bottle opener. We had one, and I say had because we broke it. We broke it. You want to know where the rest of that bottle opener is? Shall we zoom on in? Shall we zoom on in? Do you see the cork? Okay, it's all right. Things happen in the kitchen, don't they? But you keep on cooking, and you keep on eating, and you keep on enjoying one another. So let's get started, shall we? I've already cut up some slices of lemon and put them in the pan. The butter was melted, and I cut up the lemon slices ahead of time because I found that there were a lot of seeds in this lemon. I didn't want you to watch me picking out lemon seeds, so I took them out ahead of time and put those lemon slices in the pan. The recipe also calls for dill sprigs that you can place in the bottom of the pan. You can do that if you choose or not, okay? This is all up to you. So we have our 2 lemon fillets, and I'm going to add a little oil to each of them. Any kind of olive oil will do, okay? Now, some of you would say, I thought it was buttery. That's true, because I'm about to add butter too. And I melted the butter ahead of time, which I do this at home too. I'm using every kind of dish. I'm not fancy. I want to point out, I am not a trained chef. I am just someone who loves to cook and someone who likes to feed people. I love when I serve my husband a plate, and yes, I do that. I clean off the edges of the plate. I make it decorative. I let him know tonight we are serving, and I let him know some of the ingredients. So no, I'm not a chef. I'm just someone who loves to cook and who loves to feed people she loves. All right, how about you? So I'm pouring butter on this as well. Let me tell you, I've gone to a whole stick of butter. So much butter. It is swimming in butter. Coating both sides with the butter and the lemon. There's already butter and a little bit of white wine in the pan. Then we're going to add some just a little pepper. Just a little pepper. There's a famous sighting in the kitchen. Kevin Colleen, one of our award-winning reporters, just walked by. Bye, Kevin. Come on in here. Have a good day. Look what I'm making. This is Kevin Colleen.
Is that salmon?
Yes, the man behind Whole 'Nother Story.
So you can anchor and cook.
I can anchor and cook. Kevin likes to say that we have been on a
long car ride. But we never had food this good.
Yes, we do. All right, so we're just gonna, Kevin, thank you so much. Just gonna place the salmon on top of the lemon slices, okay? I'm gonna add some more lemon slices to the top. See all those seeds? I can't believe there's this many seeds in this. Look how fast this dish is going. Now I want to say something about this salmon. I'm going to eat it for sure. You can find recipes like this and more at aarp.org/St. Louis. They have all kinds of things on the website. If you are getting ready to retire, they've got advice for you on the website. If you are already retired and maybe you're moving into a caregiver position, information for you on the website. All right. See, I cannot believe the number of seeds in this lemon. So we're just trying to get them out. I don't want the seeds in the dish. I really don't. You don't know that when you're buying a lemon, how many seeds are in it. So this is an unusual number of seeds. Okay, I'm not cutting that correctly, but this is now an oily, buttery cutting board. And I'm going to show you something that I'm going to do that I hope you do too. I never had salmon like this growing up. My parents are from the South. They grew up in Mississippi. They both grew up on farms. And my mother used to make salmon croquettes. Anybody remember salmon croquettes? Yep, salmon croquettes. Hey, Judith Anderson, it does look good, doesn't it? My mother made salmon croquettes that were just delicious. And I still make those occasionally. So I never had salmon growing up. So when I got married, my husband is from the U.S. Virgin Islands, grew up in St. Croix, born in St. Lucia, and loves all fish. So I had to learn quick, fast, and in a hurry how to cook varieties of fish. And salmon was one of them. Now let's look at this salmon. Salmon's on the camera. Sam is an awesome man behind the camera and our website. So this is awfully thick. I would not have necessarily bought a piece of salmon this thick. It's going to take longer to cook. And what can happen is that thin side here is going to crisp up, might even burn a little bit. But I actually love that while you're trying to cook this. So when I first started cooking fish, I didn't really like the lemon taste, but now I do. So bring a little lemon juice on there too. I might get a seed or two on there because again, the most seeds I've ever seen in a lemon. And this is my favorite part. Stay right there, Sam. I'm going to grab this. This is my favorite part. I love dill. I have absolutely fallen in love with dill. And I'm not sure at all that this is the reason that my husband expanded his garden to include dill, because I love it. I would like to think so. But just an enormous crop of dill in our garden in the backyard this year. And so, you know, those previous glass containers you buy that have other things in them, you keep them. This had dried shallots in it, and it's such a great size of jar that we're using this to store some of the dill from our garden. So dill is a flowering herb. It has beautiful flowers at the top of it. So you pick the whole stalk, leave it out and let it dry. And once it dries, what my husband did, I don't know any other ways to do it, but what he did was put it in a paper bag and shook it. And then the dill, after it was dry, just fell off. So you take all the stems out, and this is what you have left. Here, I'll put this in this white. So there's some parts of the plant still in there, but that is fresh dill from the Daniel garden. And let me tell you, oh, smell that. Lean in there. Does that not smell amazing? It's remarkable. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now, I do love him, but the fact that I married a farmer, which I did not know when I said I do, I'm good with that. I'll show you something else he grew in just a second. Because we're going to have just a little veggie side on this. You could stir fry some spinach, stir fry some kale if you want to, corn on the cob. You can do all kinds of things. So I'm going to put a little more dill on top of this. Again, you could buy some dill, put it in the bottom of the pan along with your butter and your wine or your chicken stock or your water, or nothing at all, just butter and oil. You don't have to add any of that. There's not a recipe that I have ever followed that I followed to the letter, unless I'm baking, which I don't bake that often. But when I'm cooking, oh honey, you can write a recipe all you want. I'm not necessarily going to follow it. So I fully expect you guys to not follow this recipe and add your own little tweaks. We are ready to put this in the oven. So when we get it out of the oven, we're just going to have a side of cucumbers, and this is going to be a dill cucumber recipe. You can slice them on a mandolin really, really thinly and add red onions, oil, and dill to that. Now here's my other surprise for you. I didn't tell you I'd have a surprise. Told you I married a farmer. Didn't know I married a farmer. He grows a lot. We have apples and peaches and raspberries and strawberries and tomatoes and basil and parsley, and I could go rosemary, lavender. We have a lot of stuff. We have cucumbers. Cucumbers are sneaky little plants because they are hidden very well. And so a couple of the cucumbers that are coming out of the garden that are going to go on the side of the salmon dish tonight look like this. Look at that. That I asked my husband, what is that? He said, it's a cucumber. We don't know, but we're sure going to eat it tonight because it came out of the garden. We're absolutely going to eat it. So, hey, let's go get the salmon. Let's replace these. We're going to bake this. I'm going to feed the newsroom tonight. And then I'm going to show you the finished product. Okay? We're going to put this in the oven. And that thickness really does matter. Now you're going to see some burnt edges, which I love. So let's take this out. Let's put this in. And then all we're going to do is transfer. And if that skin sticks, because I told you I love the crispy skin, that is all right with me. All right, this is what I do for my husband. Clean the plate off. All right, look at that. Look at that. Are you looking? Are you looking? Are you watching? Are you zoomed in? Is that awesome? See, add a little more cucumber on each side. A little oil on the cucumber. Just a little bit of oil. Mix it up. I put balsamic on this as well, on both the salmon and the cucumber. The edge of the lemon, please don't throw that away because there's juice in there. And then a little more of the fresh Daniel Garden dill on the cucumber. Now, those lemon slices look delicious, don't they? I've seen folks eat those. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? You know my favorite part, I think, is that little... Yes! Is somebody saying yes? Somebody saying yes, you love the crispy part? Tiffany just made honey glazed salmon yesterday. I know I love the sizzle so much. I love the sizzle so much, Amber. That little part right there, that's what I got to get a knife. I got to get a knife in on that. I'm not even eating the salmon. I am eating the crispy skin. My husband shares the crispy skin with me. It is sure crispy. So the thicker the salmon, the longer it's going to take to cook, for sure. This is an awfully thick piece. And I told you in the recipe to press on it. Now, I have family members that, as my husband described once, I'll tell you guys this, Amber, Judith, Tiffany, all you guys watching, you'll get this. My husband likes it a little, we have family who like it well done. He does not. So the firmer this press, the firmer it is, it's pretty well done, right? Can you tell that that's a firm press? Can you tell that you can put your finger on it too? You can tell it's pretty firm. You'll feel it. And you see these white parts that are coming up on the salmon? That's the fat from the salmon. By the way, I went online to find salmon from Alaska. I think it's the Copper River in Alaska. The salmon have to eat a lot. It's a very long run the salmon have to make on the Copper River in Alaska. And so they fatten up. They have a lot of fat. They're big and they are supposed to be delicious. And they are, $35 a pound, which you can order online and get it shipped next day for an extra $25. I love salmon, but I don't know if I love it that much. That's an anniversary dinner right there, right? So this fat that's coming up, the white parts, that's the fat of the salmon. So the more of that you see, that tells you that it's done as well. All right. I think that piece is too big. You know, they always tell you in TV, don't take a big bite of something. So I'm eating the skin because I love the Tiffany. I gotta have some of that skin. That's so good. That is delicious. The combination of the cool, the oil, the dill, the cucumber, and the lemony deliciousness of the salmon. My second favorite part would be this right over here. I love it all. You can put rice on the side of this. That's going to make it a full meal. A great, good looking salad. Look at that. We're going to cut that in half and show you. Yes, I'm using a plastic fork because the forks, I didn't have it out ready for you. Now see how that looks on the inside? That's well done. And that's how a lot of people like their salmon. A little lighter pink. My husband would want it that way. But he's not here with us tonight, so we're eating it this way. Oh, that is so delicious. She's going in for another bite. When you eat like this, you can have a piece of chocolate cake later. Add a little salt. Be careful with the salt. I don't really need a lot of salt. I want the fish to shine through. You may like a lot of lemon juice on it. That would be perfect for you. You may have someone who likes salt on it. That's why you have two fillets. You salt theirs. Add other seasoning on theirs and keep yours dill, lemon, buttery goodness. So that's what I love about salmon fillets is you can dress them up for each individual person, you know, and you don't feel like you're a short order cook, but you feel like a creative chef, which again, I am not. I am just someone who loves to cook, who loves to feed the people she loves. And that's what you do when you're cooking for two. See how I did that? See what I did there? So enjoy this dish, try it. I always wait until salmon's on sale, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not trying to spend a whole lot of money, right? Especially now, no one is. But salmon is always on sale somewhere. But when you buy it, make sure the fillet is on the top is not falling apart. If it's falling apart, it's not necessarily as fresh. If it's curling, definitely not fresh. Don't be afraid of those vibrant colors. Different salmons from different regions have different colors. Different types of salmon have different colors. So some are very, very bright red. That's okay. That's the color it's supposed to be. It's going to be a delicious piece of fish. So go to the AARP website. So much information. AARP.org/St. Louis. That's AARP.org/St. Louis. And join today. AARP does so much for those of us who are of a certain age and a certain stage. They do so much for us. They know what aging is like, and they know that it doesn't mean our lives are over. They know that it means we just have another chapter, and we want this one to be as vibrant as possible. We get that? I totally get it, and I agree with them, and I'm so proud to be a partner with them. We at KMOX and Intercom St. Louis are so happy with this partnership. We want to do so much more for those like me in this community who are getting older by the day, but we are not done living yet. So get in that kitchen, my friends, and cook for two. Thanks for joining us. And guess what I'm going to do next month, is it? I think it's next month. So Sheila, it's so good to see your name. It was easy. And Diane Hall, thank you so much. Loretta, thanks for joining us. So do join us next year, next month, not next year, next month, because I am going to attempt, and you're going to join me in this attempt, my mother's sweet potato pie. This is one thing I love about AARP, because they know that for some of us who are caregivers, it's in November, cooking in November. Thank you so much, Judith. Cooking in November. So many of us who are in that caregiver space now, even the sandwich generation, a lot of us who are AARP members are in the sandwich generation. They know the folks on dementia and Alzheimer's. And my mother has dementia. And so not necessarily remembering things, and that's just the way that it goes. And so I have a recipe that she gave me the first Thanksgiving I celebrated as a married woman. And I called my mother and said, how do I make the sweet potato pie? How do I make your dressings Thanksgiving dinner? And so I, feverishly wrote this recipe down. And so that's what I have to go on. And I'll be making sweet potato pie in November. So you can't miss that. You can't miss that. I know some of you love pumpkin pie, but I'll be making sweet potato pie. So join me, okay? It's still delicious and it looks almost the same, but we'll have a good time then too. So please go to the website. If you have not become a member of AARP, do so. You'll get so much more back. All kinds of events that are designed with you in mind, and a lot of them, of course, are virtual now, but they're just thinking about you all the time. Go to aarp.org/St. Louis. Thanks for joining me for Cooking for Two. I'm going to check the oven and get that other salmon out and keep on eating this one. This is so good. You guys have a great evening.